Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of the unofficial Illuvium podcast. We are going to be your host, me, Vulkin, and we do have SEATIN now. For those that don't know, SEATIN, he has made a crypto gaming channel. He's massive in the Marvel space in mobile gaming, so I will leave a link. We are going to alternate whose channel we put these videos on, so be sure to jump over to SEATIN, subscribe, and then you'll be updated. I don't know, we'll probably we haven't even discussed this, like weekly maybe, or whenever we feel like having a general chat. What do you reckon?
Just when there's like good stuff to talk about, like, we've got a lot of news, a lot of stuff coming out at the moment, and if it stays steady, dude, like when this game launches, we have I think there's going to be a beyond insane amount of stuff going on. But yeah, thanks for pumping my tires on the intro. I certainly do appreciate that.
That's all right.
We've been talking about this for a while because me and Vulcan, we have been on Discord probably like every single day for the last month, and we just like get each other like super hyped up about Illuvium. We're constantly looking into it, talking about the new developments, new projects, new stuff that's coming out. Vulcan is like massively invested. I'm massively invested as well. Like every time we jump on a Discord call, we both end up buying more Illuvium. So if you're looking for like sensible investment advice, this is not the place. We are like mega Illuvium bulls. We are smoking the hopium on a daily basis, and we're way too hyped up about this project, man.
I think that's the big takeaway. We're not here. The idea behind this isn't for you're looking for a game to invest in. We are, and we're more excited about Illuvium on the gaming side. Like SEATIN's actually decent at crypto. I suck at crypto, so we always have conversations. And I think we could have probably originally done this as like just a general crypto gaming podcast, but then every time we talk, literally we talk about another game or something like that.
We just get to like everything else is like super shit. Like 95% of the games are terrible, but Illuvium, they're doing great stuff. They've done this awesome thing this week.
Yeah, so it's always like
it just always comes back. Yeah,
it's always like, have you seen this coin? And then we go through it and we go through it. It's like, all right, sweet. I'll just up my Illuvium stake.
yeah. Should we stake some more Illuvium?
But keep in mind, we are doing this not from the investment point of view as well. We're staking because we want to be able to spend a lot of money in the game and at the big returns. That's why we are doing it. We're not doing this to make bags of cash off of the ILV coin. We're doing it to make bags of in-game money with the SILV to spend in the game, and then hopefully make bags by catching a bunch of Illuvium.
We're not doing it to make the small bags of money. We're looking to play the game and get the bigger bags of money. Plus all the cool Illuviums, plus win the tournaments and beat the fuck out of everybody. It's going to be a great time.
That is pretty much the gist. But if the game flops on launch, well, we'll take the hit. That's pretty much where we're at.
We'll both be on the streets drinking for about a week. But either way, it's going to be a fun ride. It's going to be an interesting experiment.
So, and also, if you guys do have any ideas or topics that you want us to cover or anything like that, chuck it in the comments and we can look through, and then we can definitely do stuff on things that you guys want us to talk about. But we thought this one would be more of an intro, just talk general Illuvium stuff, and get you guys introduced to the podcast, which I don't even know. We'll have to try and figure out how to put it onto a podcast thing. Like, I've never done a podcast upload.
It's all right. A podcast can be on YouTube. We got handsome faces. At least you have. I'm sure it'll be a treat for somebody out there.
All right, so kick it off. You can kick it off. What do you want to start talking about for Illuvium?
Oh my gosh, dude, we need to talk about the NFTs, bro. I'm a fiend for NFTs at the moment. I'm an absolute DJ, and I spend far too much time on OpenSea. And I've been watching the parallel NFT sales, which is for like a sci-fi trading game. But just a couple of what was it? A couple of days ago, man. Literally, we're having like parallel cards sell for like 135 Ethereum, which is like $400,000. And with the Illuvium NFT previews coming out, we've just got like the super cute tier 1 one. And if to explain about Illuvium, there are like 6 different tiers of Illuvials, which are essentially the Pokemon type creatures. You got tier 0, which is your free to play, and then 1 to 5. 5 are going to be your like, your Charizards of the game, your Blastoise, your Venusaur, the characters that are like mega pumped, mega jacked. And it just got me thinking, like, what are those rare, shiny, holographic Illuvials going to be going for when the game comes out? Because Illuvium has like 2 use cases for actually like generating huge amounts of cash in the game outside of the NFTs themselves. So buying the NFTs, you've got the esports side of it, which, Chats of Kieran and podcasts, there's like 450 million set aside, but also in the in-game economy and rewards, there's also another $450 million worth of Illuvium at its current price. And I believe once the demand is created, that's actually going to go up substantially. So we're maybe looking potentially at like, 1.5 to like 3 billion in-game rewards and tournament rewards. And for like the best characters, if there's like whale tournaments or the most flashy ones, what is going to be the price on those, man? If we've got this sci-fi trading card game where some of the rarest cards are going for like 400,000, what's the upper limit? What's it going to reach? How is this ecosystem of value going to develop out of all these NFTs that are being spawned and captured? I'm just so curious to see it.
And keep in mind, extremely bull predictions.
We're very, very bullish. Our eyes are far too pumped on this podcast.
Yes.
This is not this is the pure hopium podcast.
Big disclaimers on that one. But definitely, I mean, and just the NFTs alone, and I think that's another thing. Like, there's so many games that are dropping NFTs and making ridiculous amounts of money when they don't have a game or a proper roadmap or anything like that. Exactly, and they're making all this money, whereas this game is doing it the opposite. And I think that's what's got me really excited about it. And for me personally, the thing with the NFT space in Illuvium that I like, because like I said, I didn't come from the crypto background. Some degenerate on screen right now is the one that got me back into it about a month ago. But like, the thing is, like, they're not trying to make the cash up front. They're trying to produce an actual game. And the fact that everyone starts from the same point is what excites me. Is like, no one's going to start the game with any Illuvials. And the cool thing when I read the white paper is like, the first person to catch each Illuvial will actually have their name permanently in the game for that. What? Yeah, for the first catch. So it's like,
that's awesome, dude.
24-hour stream incoming for the launch of the game, trying to get my name on as many of those things as possible.
I don't think the launch is going to be crazy. There's going to be so many people that want to get in. I'm curious to see, because I'm just like going to NFT mints. I'm watching these sites get taken down, absolutely ravaged. But how are the servers going to hold up in stuff like the closed beta, open beta, like when it comes to global launch as well? They're going to need to be like some serious stress tests going on, because the demand for this is going to be parabolic.
Now, that's something else that I did see Kieran tweet, I think last week, where he was talking about servers. And I read it, but I don't quite get it. But it uses like a cloud server system. So there's not like actual servers in a specified location. I'm not a technical person, so I don't know how that works, but it seems like they're a pretty smart team, so hopefully they won't have those issues. In the article, it was talking more about scaling and not having issues with scaling due to the fact that it's cloud-based, so not too sure exactly how it's going to function like that. I think it's through an Amazon cloud-based system. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think I remember reading that as well. I think you are correct on that one, but it's just like... I've rarely seen any game. I think you can attest to this as well. The only game that I've ever seen smooth at launch was 7 Deadly Sins. Props to the server engineers on that one. When it went live, there were like no issues at all. It was buttery smooth.
Yeah.
So and they can have a launch on that level.
And that's definitely something we see from our backgrounds in mobile gaming, where you've got all these mobile games that continually launch and continually crash on launch and stuff like that. So I think there's going to be probably a fair bit more interest in this game than a general mobile game. If you look at it, like, there's not even a full gameplay trailer, and we've got 70-something thousand people in the Discord.
It's going up so rapidly as well. Whenever I check the Discord, it's like, I think about 2,000 to 4,000 more people daily. Because I checked, what was it? I think yesterday toward the start, and it just hit 70K. It's like 74, I believe. So yeah, Discord is growing at a crazy rate. But the thing is, again, as you say, there's no gameplay. There's no closed beta out. There's no actual gameplay trailer. There are a few like teasers here and there, but unless you're really deep into the world of crypto gaming, like the mainstream doesn't know about Illuvium yet. And the most viewed video is like the trailer, which has 54,000 views, which in the wider scale of YouTube is absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's, unless you're like deep into crypto gaming and you've done a lot of research, you don't really know about Illuvium.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing that interests me though is, and like makes me have a lot of promise for the actual prospects of Illuvium and NFT gaming in general, is Axifinity. I play a lot on Google Trends, and a lot of people probably wouldn't know the mobile gaming space like us, but for the mobile gaming space and pushing into the PC gaming space, we have Genshin Impact, which is obviously like, it's trending bigger than World of Warcraft and stuff like that at the moment. It's a big game, and all it is an action RPG. It's not MMO or anything like that. It's a gotcha game. Very predatory on all the transactions and stuff like that. You don't own anything. It's not NFTs.
Yeah.
So, and that game is like probably the highest trending. I want to say, I don't know. It's up there with probably the top 5 to 10 trending games in general in the world at the moment. And
you're right.
And with most mobile games that we're like, which is our field, they like when you look at trends, and I'll put something up here, I'll get it and edit it in. But with most games, they don't even put like a scratch on it in the trends. Whereas Axifinity at the moment is trending about half the trend of Genshin Impact, which has gone through a full marketing cycle. It's a very popular game. And Axifinity hasn't even done advertising, and they're in alpha, and it's a blob game. So when you get an actual...
That's a good way to describe it.
When you get an actual like AAA title that has like enjoyable gameplay, I don't know about you, but like I wanted to burn my eyes out after 2 weeks of Axi, but...
it starts off like enjoyable. So, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I think we've had the same experience of Axi, where it was like, oh, really fucking cool for a week and a bit, because like you're playing this game, you're making money, but then like it gets to a certain level where it's just super repetitive. Like there's not really anywhere to go or advance or kind of bigger progression system. And the game at the moment, as great as it is, because loads of people love it because their bags are fucking pumped. It's got like a $4 billion market cap. You know, people that got in before the big pump have made millions off it, and a lot of people that, you know, rode out the pump, you know, have made thousands just kind of playing it via scholarship. So I don't blame anybody that absolutely loves Axi. It's just fundamentally the game is like, if you would take the exact same game to the mobile market, the PlayStation market, any other gaming market, it would be like a sort of like 3 out of 10 game. A lot of people wouldn't have a big reason to stick around, and they kind of just move on to the next thing. But because you have ownership, because you can make money playing the game, it's this huge driver that is so undiscovered for most of the market how powerful it is.
Yeah, definitely. And and that was my experience with Axi. It was like, SEATIN got me into it. Believe it or not, SEATIN got me back into the crypto space when Illuvium was at about $100 or $150, and I'm spending those periods putting my money into Axi because that's what he pumped me up on.
Well, man, oh god,
I don't think I got into Illuvium until about 350. So we wasted a very vital week and a half toying with Axi.
I think we needed that week and a half though, because that like playing Axi and understanding how powerful this economy is, because that's the true brilliance of Axi, is the economy is fucking brilliant. Because instead of just like, you know, the company milking the whales, you've got the whales kind of buying off the actual players the smooth love potion to breed more Axis so that they can give more players scholarships, and it kind of just all cycles around between the players while Axi themselves are taking a little bit of a cut of the marketplace sales. And that model is fucking genius. It's so smart because it empowers like everybody every single level, as long as they have faith that the game has future and is continuing to develop content. Because once the game developers hang up their hats again, you know, it's going to crash, go to zero. But Axi have massive plans moving forward to create more demand. But again, it's just like, what is kind of the long-term potential of Axie. It's like pretty unknown. They could still do some really cool stuff, but I think Illuvium, when it comes to our kind of game, is a lot more of our cup of tea. Like, it's a AAA game. Both myself and Vulcan are like massive Pokemon nerds as well, and to also have kind of this auto battler strategy element to it. I'm a massive fan of like Hearthstone Battlegrounds. So yeah, I'm just very curious to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think with that thing, what you're touching on with Axie is like and this is where I think Illuvium does it well, is like Axie is catered, and now there's all the different arguments on pyramid scheme. I'm not even gonna get into that, but it is catered that you need a lot of money to get into it. Like the Axies are expensive, and you either need a lot of money or you need a scholarship. So then you end up with this community, and nothing against the Axie community. There's a lot of amazing people in there, but it's just the general vibe of the community, not the actual community members, because you end up with this scene of a bunch of people who either got in early or have lots of cash who are creating scholarships. And then a lot of the content is people pushing scholarships. And then on the other side, every comment in every scene of the game is, can I have a scholarship? Which I completely understand, because that's the way it works. And
yeah, of course,
when you view the game as a money-making machine, like, it completely makes sense, but I feel like it loses that gaming factor. And I feel like that's where Illuvium is going to be much more enjoyable, because you can get in free to play. You can potentially make money as a free-to-play player selling leveled up Illuvials, and you can make that progression yourself without having to beg someone to let you play the game. And I think that is what's going to be the big difference. Also, obviously, if you haven't compared the two art styles, like there's a fairly big difference as well, which is going to probably drive Illuvium to be a lot better as a game. Now, as an economy, I don't know. Axie, obviously, in first always helps. So, you know, you guys take your picks on what's going to have the better economics. Obviously, I feel like Axie will be that one that sort of focuses more on the money generating side, whereas Illuvium will be the more gameplay side. So maybe Axie stays more successful on that point. But for me, as a gamer, not looking at just making a bag, that's what I'm excited about Illuvium. And for me too, like Illuvium, you touched on it earlier with the NFTs, like just that base level NFT, like looks amazing. The animation in it looks sick.
Yeah, dude.
But I cannot wait for the holographics and stuff like that to have a look at the final, because obviously they have those like the Ramfire holographics on OpenSea and stuff, but those aren't the in-game ones. But I'm keen to see what they do for the actual in-game ones. And because, like you said, big Pokemon nerds, I love shiny hunting, and the thing that gets me is that even if you come into this game free to play, make a little bit of money, I don't know if tier zeros will have holographics, but if they do, that's something for even free to play to, like, it's that carrot where like you're playing the game, you're grinding, you're leveling those tier zeros to try and sell them to get into the tier 1 land. But if you happen to spot and catch a holographic in that, that's instant boost, because it has inherent value as being something that's rare. And you can then, so it adds that excitement factor as well. But the interesting thing about these holographics, because yes, I'm a nerd and I look at this stuff because it really interests me, is because I asked the question in Discord, and with the holographics, so when you're evolving your Illuvials, you've basically got to burn 3 of like the base form to get to the mid form, and then you got to burn 3 of the mid form to get to the final form. And if you have a base form shiny and you have 3 of them, but one of them is holographic, you've got a 33% chance when you're fusing them for it to go holographic onto the second stage. So it becomes this whole game of, do you wait and get 3 of them till you have the high chance, like the guaranteed chance to do it, or do you do it with 1, or do you do it with 2, have a 66% chance and then get burnt and then just rage quit? Like, so that's gonna,
oh my god, there's gonna be so many amazing like stream highlights videos like
100%.
I can't wait to like just get in, record, start making content. But it's a really good point that you have about kind of what is it, that the chance of holographics, hopefully even on tier 0, because for this game to at least in my opinion be a success, is there needs to be a solid reason and motivation for free-to-play players to play it and just have fun as well. But there needs to be, even for people that aren't spending money, that chance to get something that's really, really special. And if you can get tier 0, maybe it's like a 1 in 1,000 spawn or 1 in 10,000, and people are spending all day hunting those. But when they get one, they can sell it for like $100 to then buy, like a tier 1 or a tier 2, for example. That's just going to be a massive experience for so many people.
100%. And I think, and I definitely don't see why they wouldn't make tier zeros have holographics as well. I think it's just a smart choice for like you said, making people enjoy the game. But the cool thing is that people, I've had this question is, but what if I come into the game 6 months later? The thing with this is, all the Illuvials are on a bonding curve where there's so many of them that will ever get made. And then that's it. But they're going to introduce new sets along the way. So I think I've read or heard somewhere, don't quote me on this, that they've got I think something like 3 sets of concept arts ready. I mean, I think they said Von Neumann can just draw one in about 3 seconds, and then they've got a new concept for an Illuvial. the dude is crazy. The art
Von Neumann is mad, bro. He's got so much talent, and I love that he does a lot of stuff live as well.
100%.
His whole process, but it's mad.
Yeah, but with that, then you have new sets coming in. So with this whole holographic thing is, yes, those ones are gone. But the thing with this is, if you caught one of those holographics, say tier zeros, they're going to be less value than a tier 5 holographic. But still, if you caught it and didn't sell it and held on to it, once that set's just about over and there's not many left, there's not many chances to get it. So then you have that rarity. But if you're coming in 6 months, there's a new set, and then you can have a chance to, even if you're starting fresh in the tier 0 land, and you're free to play, you can grind that tier 0 land, maybe find one of those holographics, and then you have that same value curve that you can do. And it's the same thing that repeats with new sets of Illuvials. And that's what I think is really cool, is that it doesn't matter when you jump in, there's always a chance to have some value. Having said that, I think at the launch of the game is the prime time for free to play to have a chance to earn some cash. Because if everyone's starting at the same point and you're all grinding up these tier zeros, if you're free to play and you're the first one with a max level tier 0, you put that on the market as the first max level tier 0 one on the market, it's going to go for more, because the whale's just going to wake up in the morning and go, oh, I don't have to do that early bit. Sweet.
Yeah,
away
exactly.
we go.
Do not underestimate the laziness of whales. I've gamed with whales for years, and they will spend thousands of dollars to not do stuff. So yeah, it's just it really is crazy, the opportunity that I think early players are going to have, and also players that can get very, very good in the competitive scene as well. I really hope, because I strongly believe for this game to fully flourish as well, there needs to be a competitive free-to-play scene that's only free-to-play versus free-to-play. You need to have 3 different tiers of PvP. You've got to have your free-to-play tier, but then maybe in the free-to-play tier, let's say it's a weekly thing, a monthly thing, maybe the first person, or the top 5, the first person gets a tier 5 Illuvial. So all the free-to-play going wild trying to get number 1, and then 2 to 5, a tier 4, and then maybe 50 down tier 3, tier 2. There's 1,000 people that get a random tier 1.
Even if they give... Oh, sorry, on that, even if they don't get a specific Illuvial, even if they get entry to a tier 5 zone plus tier 5 shards.
Yeah, that would be perfect as well. Again, there are so many different ways they can do it, but as long as they put kind of those whale level rewards, but for the best free-to-play players that win in the matches, that smashing everybody out, and giving...
And I was just going to say, for instance, with that, you could even do not just free to play, but you could have it tier 0/tier 1 comp, where it's you can only use tier 0s and tier 1s. You could have a tier 2 to tier 3, and then a tier 4/5. And obviously, you could work on rules the tier 2 to tier 3. You could also use tier 0s and 1s, and you can always use backtrack, but have those limitations so that you're battling with people who just don't straight overpower you on the power creep factor.
Yeah, because in crypto as well, you have a level far beyond what any mobile game whale can understand, which is your investor crypto whale whose bags are just pumped, because there are people that have been in crypto since Bitcoin was less than $100, and they've been playing this this wider game for the last 9-10 years, and they've just got so much money. It's absolutely disgusting, and that's the reason why you see these crypto punks, these parallel cards, these Bored Apes, all of this stuff going for crazy money right now. But it really is only just the beginning when you consider like how many like crypto billionaires there are, multi-millionaires out there that have all their basic needs met, and their life, their identity has formed around cryptocurrency. And as the market moves on, they want to still be relevant personalities in that space. They want to be the forefront of attention. They want to be that person that, got the one in, the one of one tier 5 shiny holographic alluvial for like 1.2 million. I think we're going to see like some just ridiculous stuff coming forward. I'm very excited for it.
And definitely, and I think, and definitely, this all hinges upon, once again, we are bullish, but the success of the game and all that sort of stuff, which I personally do think the game will have great success. But I feel like you also end up in that position where, if we do have lower tier competitions and people prove themselves in those competitions, you might then get these mega whales who don't have the time to play the game, but they like the game, they like the fact of it. And they're invested in it, they may then almost create teams or hire good players from those lower tiers and fund them to be able to go get their tier 5s and compete in competitions and have a split on prize money or stuff like that. Like, that's the sort of window you can fall into as well.
Yeah, dude. We are going to see some crazy yield guilds, farming guilds, scholarship programs. Even maybe if there's not like direct scholarships, it could be the case of people come to informal arrangements via Discord. You send somebody like 100 shards, they go out all day, capture, send the stuff back to you, etc., etc. They get a cut of the sales.
Yeah.
There's just
I'm just hoping it doesn't turn into Axi community where, and I don't think it will. Even if you do have those type of arrangements, I don't think it'll come down to it's just with Axi, the thing that tilts me is everywhere you go is just, can I have a scholarship?
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a tough one, man, honestly.
So and capitalism is capitalism, and people are going to try and go that direction, obviously, anywhere there's money to be made. But yeah, I'm just hoping it doesn't have a negative impact on the feel of the community for new people coming into it. Because when you go in new to Axi and you look at any tweets, any videos, anything anywhere, it's just scholarship. It's like everywhere in Axi is like, I'm a very experienced player. I need a scholarship. I'm like, how are you experienced if you don't have a scholarship and you haven't played the game? But it's just that vibe.
I get what you mean. I think that's kind of like the double-edged sword of crypto and NFT gaming is where there is money, people will come in mass, especially if they're in positions where the money is far greater than what they can get locally. And I think there are, serious cons when it comes to play to earn crypto gaming communities that I think are very much at the forefront of Axi. Again, it feels like very cult-like to a certain extent once it gets that level where you've got so many people whose livelihood relies on the game. And I kind of hope that with Illuvium, it's going to be more of just like a fun case where people are getting competitive, they're getting interested, and we just don't have this massive community of people just constantly begging for scholarships in every possible chat avenue. And it's just more fun. It's more of a gaming experience that people are traditionally used to. And people can get excited about capturing Illuvials and, selling stuff, and kind of a mixture of the best stuff that you see in gacha games and the best stuff that you see in the NFT communities as well. But it's just very unknown as to what's going to happen with this game moving forward.
Yeah.
Because it all depends on the economic structures and how it works. But I think, we've kind of got to admit that this is it is play to earn, it is crypto. There are going to be people coming to this game moths to a flame, just trying to get some cash. And I think that's one big reason this game is going to fall on so many radars and why crypto gaming is so interesting as well, because you can get these items, in the case of Axi, where you buy a land or a mystic Axi, and a few years later they're worth 1,000 times the value or something like that. It kind of is the nature of it, but at the same time it doesn't make for a fun community experience, as you say, reading through stuff when everybody's just like, please sir, give scholarship.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm excited about Illuvium, because I feel like it has a chance to, purely on gameplay, to be a game that's, yes, you'll still have a bunch of people from, you know, the lower earning countries who rightfully so want to make money playing a game, because why not? But I think you'll
Certainly can't
also
blame them.
but I think you'll also attract a much more Western audience as well, who are playing the game for the fact of the game, not for the money. So you'll have a more balanced community. Whereas Axi, there's no one, unless you're just getting into it like we were, or like there's no one who, if Axi isn't beating your wage, like, I mean, I didn't do too bad. I made $400 in Smooth Love Potion in my first 2 weeks, but I just couldn't I'd stopped playing. Like I just couldn't do it. So like I feel like Axi is more of the one where the revenue does drive the player base. And yes, you have those, like a bunch of people on YouTube and stuff, but those guys made their bags and they're pushing scholarships and like they're just at the top collecting more. So that makes sense. But it's not a game that draws 100%. Gamers in. So it is more about that monetary factor. Whereas I'm just hoping that Illuvium can just push that money factor down a little bit to bring the gaming more to the top. And I think that's their goal with the game. And I think with like what we spoke about with shinies and stuff like that, that will be that thing where it's like the game isn't about making a steady income on the game. It's more about having that chance to make a big pack if you get lucky. Yeah. It just adds that value.
I completely agree. I think, again, that kind of like, we're both gacha gambling addicts, essentially, our deepest cause. So just the chance of getting like, there's like Illuvium, there's like Illuvial that's super rare and just like the craziest value and can just like murk everybody in PvP. I think is just like really, really exciting. But nah, I'm pumped for the gameplay. I think it's going to be a really fun time. And yeah, just stupidly bullish, man. Far too bullish.
Yeah, I think that's just. I think we've been going for about a half an hour. Do you got more you want to talk about? Here we go.
I was just going to say, sorry. One thought I had going back to Axi in regards to like wider adoption as well is like Axifinity. When I'm out with the lads down the pub, right? If I got my phone out and was like, boys, I've been playing this killer new game. You're like, and then I showed like Axifinity. I think they'd be like, are you all right, mate? You know, but I feel like with Illuvium, based off what I've seen, they'd be like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's like a different next gen version of Pokemon. And you can like, you know, fight other players, and I'll be like, you know, you can, some of these NFTs like selling for like thousands. There's like an esports tournament coming up. There's like a $50 million prize pool for this one, but they got like 400 million in the vault. They'll be like, what? Yeah, I feel like there's just going to be a lot of stuff that's going to have that broader network effect of just being like very cool to show off and like very exciting as well. So yeah, I'm really, really hyped for it. But yeah, sorry, I just wanted to add that on.
No, that was perfect. I was actually we had a little break in our lockdown here, and in that one weekend break we had, I went to the pub with some friends, and I'm like, so I've just spent I've just spent $3,500, and these are my 3 blobs that I'm playing. It's just like I just got. I love that you actually had this experience. I just got laughed out of the room. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you see what I mean? I didn't even know you had that. That's fantastic. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like with Illuvium, I feel like it's going to be a very different story.
100%. I completely agree. But anything else you want to cover, or are we happy to cap it there?
Not really, just excited. I need more news. I need like Kieran to tweet something every hour for like the next year. Really? Just buy more Illuvium, bro. Chuck it all and stake him.
100%. Well, if you guys do have any ideas or any topics that you want us to cover, just drop it in the comments. And like I said, make sure you jump over to SEATIN's channel, which will be linked in there. Subscribe to him because he will have the next episode of this over on his channel. But
lots of Illuvium ball posts down. It's going to be like Illuvium's the best game for like the next year. We don't even know that yet, but hopefully it is. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully for your bag's sake, it is.
Yeah, man. Hopefully. We'll see what happens.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and we'll look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.
Take care.